Alright, trying this again. There we go. Alrighty. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we're not actually going to be doing the normal stream because we've only got the 2 players. Instead, we're going to have a little one-shot of sorts to keep them entertained and hopefully you as well. So.
All right, Callie, let's
All
go.
right, so things were getting kind of hectic and crazy when we last left off in Barovia. One of the members of the party had gone inside with Rictavio, the allied NPC, to investigate the Wizard of Wine's winery and see if it was safe for everyone else to venture inside. Several long moments passed and nothing really was heard of any report, good, bad, or otherwise. Some of you maybe even considered going in yourselves to see if everything was all right. And suddenly, with a loud crash followed by a sharp thud, a creature dressed in twigs and hides and such various natural things and just generally the color of dirt had shot out of one of the second-story windows and plummeted to the ground outside, and then, before you could react, gathered his feet back under him and ran into the vineyard. Around this time, your vision fades, and everything around you tends to black out and disappear from your sight. Next thing you realize, you're actually waking up to a sight that neither of you have seen for weeks, if not months. And that is a beautiful, pristine blue sky, not a cloud in sight.
That's very ominous.
You're waking up on your back, looking up directly into this beautiful sunny sky, and you almost hear this strange sound that...
Do I see...
Are you looking around?
Yeah, do I see the paladin? I
Uh,
forget your name.
Keenick.
Keenan, okay. Do I see Keenan?
Uh,
Or am I just...
well...
I know we're both in this state, but, do we see each other? Or are we in, like, a separate thing?
You actually do realize that you're a guy, you two are near each other, and looking around, you hear the sound that you haven't heard for not just weeks, like the skies that you see above, but months. You hear the sound of rushing water, the sound of surf moving against rocks and wood. And as you look around, you realize that what you guys are laying on is, in fact, the wrecked deck of a ship.
I hate. Oh no. Oh.
So, pirate.
Nick is a bit unsettled by this. He's like, oh, this is the worst place to wake.
I wanna fucking loot. I wanna look for loot.
All right. As you stand up and start looking around, you see that the deck used to be roughly 100 feet long, 30 foot wide. It's actually pretty well intact from fore to aft. There's just a few spots that have been punched through by rock, and you can see these rocks jutting through. It almost looks like come high tide, this wreck might actually be submerged underwater. But right now it's low tide, and as you're starting to look around, you hear a voice call out to you. Oi! Seafarers! More survivors! At last! Over here! And as you look in the direction, you actually see what appears to be a young woman clinging to another piece of driftwood, and all that she seems to have on her is just a tattered white silk shirt. But what makes you realize why she's panicking is that you can see at least 3 shark fins piercing the water.
Oh, God. Not sharks.
'Alright. Awesome.
Yeah, you
Alright.
can see at least 3 fins, and you think you might see the shadows of more in the water around her. But you can also see that it's going to be about a 30-foot swim to get from your current wreck to her much smaller one on the rocks.
Is there any jewelry on her?
Not that you can see from this distance. There might be some earrings hidden under her wet hair, but not that you can see at this distance.
Okay, is there a boat? A rowboat? Anything that we can use for a boat?
Not that you can use. The only rowboat that you can see is the one that she's clinging to, which is also hung up on some rocks and pretty much destroyed as in and of itself.
Make this easy, good.
Why would I do that?
God, I don't have swim. Alright.
We don't need.
No, but anybody can swim.
I would recommend you swim because I'm in half plate. I'm gonna sink in the water like a rock. This is not good. Wait, how far did you say this?
It's about yeah. You aren't actually that close, but you would estimate the distance of the nearest point of your wreck to hers is about 30 feet.
All right, I'm gonna go to her. Wait, does it look like if I got there, I would be able? Her vessel wouldn't sink if I got on it, would it?
It looks like it's actually hung up on rocks, so at the very least you could help her get onto the rocks that her little shattered vessel is snagged on.
God, can I roll an insight check real quick?
Absolutely.
Koenig smells the seawater, sees the fins, the calls for help. The thought of helping her comes to mind. But first, must be smart about this. A natural 20 for insight. Look at that.
Nice. What's your total?
Great. Total, that would be a total of 24.
Okay.
It's full of shit.
It seems rather odd that she would be hanging onto the side of this shattered boat instead of actually up on the rocks already, especially if she's like, at last, more survivors.
Is she a siren?
Koenig flinches to move forward, readying a spell to get to her, but then stops. He looks over at his rogue companion. Wolf, do not trust this creature. It is a trap. Why would she not crawl from the ship to the rocks, safety from the sharks in the water?
As you're saying this, she yells out, "Something's coming closer! I'm gonna go under!"
Can I roll a nature check, please? See, like, I guess obviously they ocean animals. Never mind. Alright, can we see what's coming? Like, is there a shadow in the water? Can we see anything like that?
Yes, you can roll a perception check or nature check, your choice, to see if you can identify what it is that's swimming in the water. Because you can definitely see there. Right.
Let's see. 17 plus 6. How does 24 for perception check go?
Hold that thought. So, Sarah, yours is an 11 plus whatever your nature modifier is, or perception.
Okay, 4.
Okay, so 15. Yes, you can both identify that the creatures swimming around are most definitely reef sharks.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, nothing big. Okay.
Yeah, they're roughly 10 foot long apiece.
Oh,
Are there any...
No! I don't like reef. They're just... Oh, no!
I know this isn't my region that I would know, but would I know if there's, like, merfolk or anything like that around here that would, like, or drowning?
You've got no context to base this off of. Although I will say, looking around, you can see the color of the water. Where she's at and where your guys' wreck is at is a fairly light blue. You can definitely see that the water does go down a pretty good distance, but that there's definitely a bottom. On the other side of your wreck, it gets dark. Like your guys are wrecked somehow right on the edge of a continental shelf of some kind.
Do I see a rope? Is there a rope in the wreckage? Or
Oh, there's plenty of rope and rigging lying around.
Hey, Keenan, what if we tie all the rope together and kind of threw it out there or to grab on?
You tie the rope, I'm gonna get over there. And you know what I do? I misstep over there.
All right. And right about as you're telling the wolf to tie the rope, you see her get pulled under.
Fuck! Oh, well, we tried. God damn it. I got misstep anyways.
All right.
Misstep over. Oh, let me put that. I misstep onto the rocks.
Yep.
And as she's getting pulled under, I'm gonna go in and get that rigging ready.
All right. So, yeah. So you get there right as she's sliding back from the rocks.
I grab her.
You reach out to grab her, and you realize that the human form that you saw was actually some sort of illusion. Her skin feels wet, not quite slimy, but definitely more of a aquatic creature. And you also see that she doesn't have legs. She has a tail.
Oh god, I know what this thing is. I thought it was this. I thought my insight check would be able to tell if it was real or fake. It didn't.
Alright, so... Alright, I still have the rope. Did we tie it on to you, or no?
No, I can just misstep back.
Can I pull him out? Did we attach the rope
I
to
didn't
him?
tie anything to me. I just misstepped out of there.
And technically, Misty Step wouldn't necessarily travel in a connected way with that.
Yeah. So, I'm just going to land, grab her arms. I look down and see that she has a tail. I'm going to misstep back. Bye.
Before you do that, roll a grapple check opposed to see who grabs who first.
Woo. Oh. Yeah, good luck. How does a 23 look?
Oh, yeah. You pretty much touch her arms and yank back like, nope. And you're able to...
Pretty much back up, almost hop in the air, where, like, I hop in the air.
Like you would end up hopping back into the water behind you?
Yeah, and just all the way back to the shore. And I put my hand on Wolf and go, it's not a woman.
Oh, it was definitely female. It was definitely female.
Wasted all my good spells. Fuck. Damn you, Z. Alright.
So, is this thing, like, stopping us in the water, or did it just go away? What the hell is it doing?
Well, whatever it was, it tried luring us in using illusion magic. I'm assuming whatever it is attached to the woman that was making the illusion magic to. I'm pretty sure we dealt with something like this before in Barovia. Or at least heard about it.
Alright, I'm gonna roll a knowledge check to see if because I would know this, if, at least that type of magic.
Okay. So I'll roll for you. 7 plus. That one's going to go away because it's not rolling very well tonight.
Damn you, C. You should use that
12.
one.
12? No creature comes to mind that would give off an illusion of beauty. There are some creatures that come to mind that disguise themselves with illusion magic that live in the water, but it wouldn't necessarily create such a perfect rendering of a beautiful human woman.
See, I already know what this thing is. I know for 100% fact what this thing is.
You're welcome to also be 100%. You're also welcome to be 100% wrong there, Koenig.
He's a very... Alright, I'm gonna roll.
Can a magic item do that?
Yes.
Oh, fuck, I want that magic item. God, I don't know anything about magic items. Do you know anything, Kinnick? You would, maybe.
Kinnick just kind of is not worried about magic items right now. He's just looking for where she got pulled in the water. Just watching to see where it's going to come up at. Sword at the ready.
As you guys are discussing all this, you watch the circling shadow that you saw, or shadows, I should say, that you saw of the sharks come around the rock that she was on and start swimming towards your guys' wreck.
to get as far away from the water as possible.
All right, that would be right in the middle of the deck and right in the middle of both directions. So you're 15 feet from either edge and about 50 feet from either end. Which, mind you, one end is on the shallow side of the continental divide or the continental cliff, and the other end is out over deep water. Just so you know.
I'm gonna stick with the shallow.
Is there a mast?
There is a long mast that is reaching out into the water, kind of going at an angle. So if you guys were here looking this way at her and her rocks, this mast is going out forward. So it's basically a left 45 degrees from the center line of this wreck that you're on.
Okay, shimmy up that.
It's broken and laying into the water.
Oh, well, alright.
That's why I was describing it as being a 45-degree angle.
Alright, are there any cannons?
No.
That would be dope if there was. Is there a ballista?
Yes.
Oh, there's a ballista! Yes!
There appears to be one working ballista. There appears to have been 4 at one point, but 3 of them are busted from the storm that wrecked this ship. So there is one working one out over the deep water. The way the ship is it's not sitting flat on the water. It's actually got kind of a tilt to it, and it's over here at the very front, the bow of the ship, or the prow of the ship, rather. On the right front, kind of tilted up into the air a little bit.
Question. Are there any of those really cool ass little cannons that are like those little turret cannons? Damn, I wanted to break one off and be like, come on.
One shot.
Fire, pull the sword. Ah! Damn, see, you could have had something great there, see. Shame.
Hey, I knew there was going to be ballista on this, though.
Alright, I think you should go to the ballista and shoot.
I look at my rogue companion and go, one, still keeping an eye. My perception's really high. My past perception's really high. So he's still keeping an eye out while looking at her or him. One, that's over the deep water. And 2, we have nothing to shoot at yet.
They're coming this way.
And 3, roll me a perception check, please.
Hey, I'm actually really good at
For
perception.
me, too?
Yes.
Oh!
Okay, you're gonna do that.
I didn't
Right.
roll that
Unless
good.
you want me to
13 plus. Hey, if you can do a dice roll, that'd be great.
I only got
15.
So the wolf notices that each ballista had a rack of bolts next to it, set up so that runners from the hold could get a bundle, run up, set them down, run back, get another bundle, set them down. There appears to only be 3 good bolts on the rack so the ballista that you see is good. Its rack is gone, like it got washed overboard. On the other side, next to the broken ballista up front, there is a rack still, and there appear to be 3 good bolts on it.
Are you faster than me, Wolf?
I can use stealth.
Get those bolts, and I'm gonna head over to the ballista.
Alright.
Is there a ballista
Can you
already
use
loaded
stealth?
in the upper one?
No, the ballista are unloaded.
These lazy pirates. God.
As you start heading over there, you hear a pretty decent thump, like something deliberately rammed against the hold. You don't really feel it like it's coming loose, but you definitely hear something bumped the ship.
Alright, I hurry up and try to get the bolts.
All right. So you're able to go up and grab the bolts off the rack. There's a couple more thuds that happen up against it, one of which almost felt like something gave a pretty good impact to the hull.
Okay, does it feel like this thing's on the ship at all? Or is it underneath the ship? Is it still in the water?
If these impacts, if they have been felt at all, they feel like it's from something still in the water underneath, and that the sound confirms that as well.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't on the ship. Alright. I take the bolts to Teaneck.
What is your dexterity modifier?
8.
Modifier, not score.
Oh, 4.
So
Okay.
18 then. Okay.
Okay. I take the bolt. I load it on there. You're going to shoot. You have much better aim than I am. Because range weapons of all kinds is dex, right?
Yes.
Except for the javelins. Javelins throw.
Any thrown weapon, yeah. Any thrown weapon, I believe, is actually supposed to be strength, because you're putting oomph behind the throw.
Right. Okay. Okay. Load it up. Shit. I wish I had something. Just something to. I don't have anything that I can lure this thing out with. Oh, I know. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to lure it out. I take my lance, that stupid thing that I bought, and I'm gonna chuck it into the water. Just.
All right. You do see a shark fin pop out of the water and follow it down.
Open fire!
I shoot.
All right. That's going to be a roll to break with disadvantage. Yeah, I'll roll for you. I'm warning you though, because the target is mostly underwater. It's a shot with disadvantage.
Okay, that's fine.
You said shoot.
I didn't know it was disadvantage.
Well, here's the beauty of it. Even with disadvantage, it's a 14 plus the +6 modifier of the weapon itself, plus your dex, no proficiency. So that's total of 24. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Since you guys haven't actually gotten to use Ballista yet in the game,
You're shitting me. They're that powerful?
3d10s.
Can I get a barbarian that can carry a ballista?
Roll me up a Goliath barbarian, and I will consider it.
I'll let Dave know.
Right. All right. So 1, 8 is 9, 4 is 13. It doesn't allow for any pluses. So 13 damage to one of the sharks.
Is it bleeding?
Oh, thoroughly.
Oh, excellent.
Did the other sharks eat?
Hopefully. I mean, if they're fucking hungry, they'll eat the shark.
Hey, Nick, I want to apologize because you know what I could have done to save us from this whole thing?
What?
I could have used trap sense and seen if the thing in the water was a trap.
Unfortunately, trap sense works on mechanical and magical traps, not social traps.
Yeah, but this seemed like it was a magical one, wasn't it? Wasn't it? I'm assuming it is. No?
I think what he means by is a magical trap like a ruin that shoots electricity at you, aside from a creature using magic.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, this whole setup as far as it being a trap is definitely more along the lines of a social trap as opposed to a magical trap.
Ooh, I'm so lucky it didn't pull me in the water. That would have been
Okay,
it.
are we safe or are we still in the middle of something?
Still very much in the middle. In fact, roll me initiatives at this point, so that we can actually start doing turn order. And I'll roll for you as well.
Can you roll for me?
Yes. What's your initiative modifier?
Did you see Toothlip?
I did. I should
Okay, plus mine.
Yep.
It's +3.
Not bad. So that's 11 for the wolf.
14.
Keenick at 14.
Question: did this illusion have red hair?
She did, actually. Since we're introducing dragons, here's Steamy Dragon.
Oh, that's awesome. You want to say hi, Key?
Hey, kiddo.
Yeah, I
She's
don't want the
been
dragon.
watching this, so.
All right. So I'm gonna roll for the creatures.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Are they all ones?
Keelan. Get under your covers, kiddo.
They're all ones, right?
No.
That can only help.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
no, I can wait till break. I got my mattress. I think I got a slow leak in it.
Oh, I know that feeling. All right. So we'll just say that the turn order starts now, because that was basically a prepared action when you did that. All right. So around this time, you hear some scrabbling against stone, and you think you might hear some scraping on wood, but you don't necessarily see anything yet. And you also hear 1, 2 more pretty good thuds against the hull of the ship. And then Keenick, it is your turn.
Oh God, there's nothing. I don't. Let me look at my spells. Maybe I got some. Maybe I can pull some tomfoolery like I did with getting out of that trap. Well, I can't look at my level 2s right now because I'm out. Bastards. Only I can see it.
Aww.
I'll just mark on it. Find it.
That's awesome, kiddo. Thank you.
You should have seen the little pony she drew me today.
Aww.
What was his name? Peach Lemon? Peach Lemon.
That actually sounds yummy as a flavor, too.
And what was Grandma's pony's name that you drew her? Beauty Leaf.
Also
Beauty
pretty.
Leaf.
Also pretty. Keely, we should make you a druid next so that you can have all kinds of fun animal names.
She wants to play. She said, "Do you remember when I played a long time ago D&D with Daddy?" And I said, "Yeah." And
Okay. I know what I want to do.
Alright.
I'm going to tap Protection of Good and Evil.
I'm a turtle.
Okay, so you're going to cast Protection from Good and Evil on yourself. Okay. And that protects you from which creatures again?
A lot, actually.
Isn't it any chaotic?
Celestials, elementals, fays, fiends, and undead. Protection grants several benefits. Those types of creatures have disadvantage on attack rolls against me, and I cannot be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them.
Okay.
And if the target, that's if I'm already charmed, frightened, or okay, never mind. That one doesn't apply. It's like I have advantage to get out of it if I'm already under its spell.
Cool.
Sword at the ready. I don't know what the fuck's in that water, but I'm ready.
All right. Wolf, it is your turn. You have 2 bolts for the ballista left.
Can I use my movement to load the ballista for her?
It would have to
Can I
be.
see any, like,
It would have to be an action to load it.
Damn it. Sorry.
Alright, so I load it, but I don't shoot.
Okay. This I'm pretty sure. Let me check. Yep. Takes 1 action to load the weapon, 1 action to aim it, and 1 action to fire it. So. Basically, it's It's basically 3 turns to use the damn thing.
It's
You know what would be really handy right now?
Well, a flying carpet.
Yeah. Well,
We would be like, bye. Bye-bye.
or a genie.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. And then the Kraken comes out of the water and pulls you guys down. A ranger, yeah, that would be really handy right now.
Yeah,
A
it's
ranger would be really, really lucky.
Yep. All right. So you take your turn to load it. You hear 2 more thuds against the hull from various points. It's almost like they're trying to knock this thing loose and knock you into the water. But so far, nothing really has budged at all. Right after those 2 thuds, you actually see about a 15-foot crocodile comes crawling over one of the rocks that has punched its way through the deck at the far end of the ship from you guys and make it about 30 feet towards you. So, in another 2 turns, it'll be up on you guys.
That's a big fucking crocodile. All right.
So what's the range of it?
Of the
How
ballista?
far is it?
Oh, of that thing? It is the croc?
Yeah.
It's currently about 70 feet away from the ballista.
So it's out of range of the ballista, isn't it?
No.
Or can the ballista do 100 feet?
Ballista can do 120 feet without disadvantage normally, and it can do up to 480 feet at disadvantage as long range.
Is it in a position that I can shoot it?
Yes, you would be able to take your action this turn to turn it around and line up to where you're pretty sure it would be in a turn.
So I can move. Damn it.
The ballista can turn around 360 degrees, but it can't move from where it's at. It's at a fixed position on the ship.
Basically bolted.
No, I mean, by the time I turn it around, the crocodile could go in the water or whatever.
Or come closer.
I think it's gonna come closer.
I'm gonna turn it around.
All right, so you're gonna take your turn to spin it around. You're hearing 2 more thuds. Koenig, we inadvertently skipped you. What are you gonna do?
70, right?
Yep. I'm picturing you being about 5 foot away from the ballista, so I'd say you're about 65 feet away.
I don't know how. I'm gonna move up. 30.
Okay.
That should. About 65 away from. No, I'm gonna move. I'm just trying to picture how fast this fucker can move. I like it can move really fucking fast. God. It's 70 feet away. And I'm 65 feet away from it.
Yep.
I'm gonna move up 20.
Okay.
Out of the way of the ballista.
Yep. So you're off to the side.
And I'm gonna do what I do best. I'm gonna chuck javelins at it.
Okay. Roll the break.
With disadvantage.
It's out of the water, so it's not with disadvantage.
I meant the range, because I only moved up 20. If it's 70 feet away, and I moved up only
20, that brings you to
20.
50.
Yeah, anything. It can. Javelins can go 30 to.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I wouldn't want to jip you, Z.
All right, so go ahead and roll.
Okay. That one's going to miss because I rolled a 4. 4 plus 5, so 9.
Okay, yeah, that'll miss.
Damn it. Yep, even worse, I rolled a 2. So both of them just hit the deck, go into the fucking water.
It's moved up close enough that both of those would actually hit the deck. Like one will stick into the deck because its arrowhead is still nice and sharp. The other one had a little bit shallower of an angle because it went on the other side of the croc, and it'll actually like glance off and skid along and land up against the railing.
Okay. So they're still there.
Yeah, they're still there. 2 more thuds from underneath. One definitely sounds like it, instead of being necessarily below, it was off to the side. And being that you, Koenig, are actually off to the side, looking down, you can see that one shark fin just kind of bloop, pop up and then go back down.
I shouldn't have thrown my fucking javelin. I could use that as a spear to attack these things at the side. Damn it! No!
The croc is now going to move 40 feet closer to you, and that's as far as it's going to get. And it's your turn again, Koenig.
How close is it?
10.
30 feet.
Oh, 10? Cool.
10.
I'm going to... I don't want to engage in melee combat because I don't want a javelin to get put through my back. So, because that would suck completely. I'm going to self-protection, good and evil on me. I'm going to huck 2 more javelins at it.
All right.
But this one does not have disadvantage.
Oh.
Yeah, that one missed completely. I rolled a 3. You go in the water and get hit on the deck.
That one will stab into the deck next to it.
Excellent.
Natural 1?
No, not that one. 6
Okay.
plus 5. Does 11 hit?
So you throw that when you're sure it's going to hit, and it actually does, but it glances off the bony hide and sticks into the wood behind it.
Phoenix is getting very pissed off. Like, fucking, he turns over, and since he missed 4 times in a row, he looks over and goes, "You better not miss!" and he pulls out his sword and raises his shield.
All right. Roll it.
Good job, Pally. Nice shot.
All right.
You have about as good a shot as the ranger.
All right. Rolling to break. Ooh. Definitely with all the pluses, that's going to be a hit. It's +6 by itself, plus your dex, which is total of 10, plus 18. It fucking hits.
You get it in the eye.
No, but definitely hits it good.
Can I hit it in the throat? Is its mouth open?
No, its mouth is not open yet.
I love because it's coming for me.
10, 12.
Want some crocodile boots?
Actually, that would be worth a lot. Crocodile scales. That'd be worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
It would be really good armor, dude. I can't wear it because I have to wear light armor.
Half plate with crocodile on it. A plus AC +1, so it would be 19.
Nice. All right. So that's a grand total of 12 damage that you did with that one shot.
Oh my god! See, this thing can do 30 damage. It is. Throw those dice. Throw them away. Put them in the hole. Put them in the hole.
Only one of them was really low, and that's the one that did it. I mean, 2 of them together added up to 10, so actually it wasn't too bad. That's
Oh my God, that's bad.
that's 2 average. That's 2 average rolls.
We don't need average rolls. See, we need high rolls. This thing's about to roll like a 28 against me. I can already tell. It's gonna come up, and I'm gonna be like, "Oh!"
Yeah. So it is going to come up, and it is going to take a bite at you, or at least attempt to.
Wait a minute. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, it's gonna move up.
Yep. It's going to take a bite.
Bring it.
I'm pretty sure 14 is just going to glance off your shield.
Yep.
But it is now in your face.
Exactly where I want it. All right.
Yep.
Now I'm not gonna use channel divinity on this thing. I'm I'm just gonna swing. I'm gonna swing! I'm gonna take my sword and I'm gonna carve it up good. No, I'm not, because I rolled a 2 plus 8 equals 10.
Yep, that missed.
How do you... Oh.
So, what
Yes!
about...
14 plus 8.
That will hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 damage.
All right. All right. And what is the wolf going to do this turn?
How bad are the sharks?
They
'Cause I can't ballista at him.
they seem to just be swimming around the ship, and you're pretty sure you'd have a really hard time trying to angle the ballista to shoot down at that angle.
Question. Have the sharks been distracted by their other companion that's like, oh, I'm fucking got a javelin in me?
Doesn't seem to be.
Okay, they're being controlled by something.
Alright, so so this thing is 75 feet away from me.
At this point it is now 25.
25? Alright, I'm gonna use stealth and try to attack it.
Okay, roll me a stealth check.
I can't.
Right. 10 plus modifier?
10 plus 3.
Alright, 13. You think you're being pretty sneaky as you move up to it. Or move to wherever you're going.
Yeah, can I get up to it? Yeah, I can. 'Cause
Yeah.
my thing is... Alright, can I hop on it?
Oh.
'Cause I wanna
You-
hop on it and, like...
You may attempt a grapple check, yes.
Could it be with advantage since it's totally focused on me? Flavor
Yeah, this
check?
would be an ambush.
This would be an ambush. I will allow advantage. I will allow advantage on your part, yes. Nice. So 16 plus your athletics.
Ooh. That's plus 8.
Nice. Versus its 8 plus 2, so you are able to mount it.
Ah, yes. Alright, can I stab it?
I would say not this turn because you used your bonus action to go into stealth and you used your action to grapple it. Unless you have unless you have extra attack, which I don't think rogues do.
No, they don't.
Okay.
If I was a human, yes. But I am not.
Okay. So yes, you're able to mount this thing quite well. With that, it is going to use its movement to provoke an attack of opportunity from Koenig as it tries to dash towards the side and jump off the ship into the water.
16 plus 8.
That will hit.
And you know what? This guy's made me very unhappy. So you know what? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of Divine Smite on that. Just a little bit.
Okay.
Let's fucking kill this thing.
Eight, that's what I need, baby. That's that smells good. How does 27 look?
That looks enough to bring a croc down to 0 and beyond hit points, at which point the form shifts and reverts back to that of a mermaid, who in a panic scrabbles with the halfling still on her back over the side.
Can I let go?
Can I grab it? Wait, is the mermaid dead?
No.
Well,
Hey, is there anything
well,
on
here's
her?
the thing. How I was
I
gonna
would-
kill it was. You remember how I killed the Naga it was running, I was gonna say as it started to run, I just stuck out my sword, and the side of its face, it just jammed into the side of its face, and I kind of like it pushed me back a little bit, like, and I just pushed even harder. And with the momentum of it going forward, my sword, that's what brought it down.
Almost, except this was more turn away from you, so it was more of a exposed side and flank to it.
Okay. Can I do a
Hey,
grab?
the
Can I
thing
grab?
is,
Can I grab the halfling out of the air, like, oh shit, and grab her?
I would say, as a reaction, the wolf would be able to try and jump off, but I will need you to do a dexterity saving throw in order to time it right.
Uh-oh.
hey, is there anything on her neck?
Not that you.
Because this thing's a fish out of water, right?
Well, you can biologically you can see gills.
There's no necklace, there's no earrings, there's nothing that would grab my attention.
Not that you can tell in this current momentaneous event. So I'm gonna roll for you for a dex.
So how is she moving?
Between her tail, she has land speed. It's just very low.
Oh,
It's not that she can't move on land like a shark would. She can move. She has arms. She has the ability to push with her tail. She can move. So I'm going to roll for your dex save, and you need to tell me what the mod is.
Oh, hi.
That's a 4.
Oh, boy.
Mind you, 4 plus 4 is 8. Yeah, that's not enough. You are able to disengage and let go and throw yourself off, but by the time you're able to untangle yourself and push away, because you had a grip on a reptilian crocodile, and then all of a sudden the form shifted to now you're holding on to a humanoid torso, female humanoid torso at that, and so your grip is off, and as you're trying to throw yourself off, you realize that you're falling not onto the deck, but you're hitting the side of the hull and bouncing into the water.
damn it, I didn't get to motorboat.
Yeah, you were on the wrong side.
Titties, man, titties.
Okay.
So I fall into the water?
Yep, you fall into the water, and that's as far as she's able to get. Koenig, you see them go over the side, and it looks like, looking down, they pretty much fell right on the line of, over here's the continental shelf, over here's the deep blue. As you're looking down over the side, it's like, you're looking down over the side, there's the continental shelf, there's the deep blue, and they went down right over the line.
Okay. I'm assuming the halfling's above. I can see the halfling.
You can see the halfling as he's like 2-3 feet underwater. It was a good 15-foot fall, so he's like going down and then having to bob back up. And right as you're looking over, he's in the process of coming back up. Hasn't hit the surface just yet.
Okay. Actually, no worries. I actually already had planned for this.
Okay.
I'm going to, for my action, I'm going to drink my potion of fly.
Okay.
I don't know how the potion of. I don't really know.
So it gives you a magical flying speed of 30, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And you are able to fly through the air just like you walk on the land.
Okay. What I'm gonna do is I drink it as my movement. I'm gonna fly down, and I'm going to obviously I can't grab him right now, but with sword in hand, I'm going to float so I'm like right above the water, so I can help fend off anything that tries to attack.
Okay.
And then after the attack, I'm gonna pull his ass out of there, like, come on.
All right. And as you're going down there, you see the 4 sharks looking like they are coming for a feeding frenzy. But before they are able to get there, because they were from everywhere else, the wolf, your turn. What do? You're able to pop up. Yeah, you're able to pop up to the surface of the water. You can swim somewhere.
Take my hand.
Yes, you have not.
I'm
Yeah, you have not drawn any of your own weapons at all. So you're able to reach up because it's the hand is being offered. It's not a contested roll to grapple and grab hold. But that is your turn. 2 sharks are going to try and take bites at you before you can get pulled out of the water.
Ooh.
You have a disadvantage because of my size.
How so?
Because I'm a small.
That's a 3.5 rule.
You know you're
So
3.5.
it didn't transfer.
No.
I give you that, Sarah. You're
Never mind. Yeah, I do. I love 3.5.
It seems like there's a lot more to it.
Oh yes, it's a very in-depth system. Does 13 hit your armor class?
No.
My armor class?
Yes, yours.
Let me look at my character sheet. 13, you said?
Yes.
No.
All right, cool. So 1 will miss. The other one, I'm pretty sure a 23 will hit.
Yes, it will.
Yes. Okay. So that is going to be 5 slashing as it tries to take a bite out of your leg. It's only a reef shark.
I don't trust reef sharks.
Roll me a perception check, por favor.
Me or her?
For here.
Both of you, and I'll both of you, and I'm gonna roll for you, Sarah.
Ugh.
7 plus.
12.
7 plus 4.
So 11. That's enough for both of you to notice that the mermaid's form also shifts into that of a shark.
Is it a reef shark?
It is a reef shark.
Okay, that's okay. It's a lot worse things that could be. Oh god.
It could be Jaws.
All right, and with that, 2 more sharks are also going to attack the wolf. So I'm pretty sure 7 is going to miss. Will 16 hit?
Yes.
Okay. And that's going to be a total of 9 slashing.
Right. I'm gonna need to be healed.
I got you. I got a plan.
And Koenig, it is your turn. What is this plan?
I'm going to lift. I'm going to float up.
Yep. Roll me a strength check, low DC.
Oh, I'm glad it's low DC. It's going to be a good old fashioned 8.
Ah, just enough.
Yes.
So,
You're strong.
yep. You're able.
You're.
Huh?
Can I kick these things?
On your turn. Oh, I forgot about that little detail. Oh darn. Would you like me to roll the advantage that I forgot to roll for the other 2 attacks?
No. No. You forgot that.
Yes, I did.
I thought that was great whites.
Maybe. No. So yes, Koenig, you are able to pull the wolf up out of the water.
Yay!
Sarah, your character, how many hit points does he have?
I only have 28.
In total?
In total.
Christ.
That's because I don't have much XP, and yeah.
Okay. I'm pretty much going to pull you out of the water. See that you're all nipped up. Set you on the deck.
Yeah, bleeding like freaking crazy.
I'm going to heal all the way.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Go. I have an idea. It's going to put me at great risk, but I have an idea. Get over to the ballista. Load that thing up. Okay?
Last shot.
Last shot. Save it for the mermaid. I'm going to. Then I want to use the rest of my movement to fly out. And I'm not over the wall. I'm not right next to the water. Pretty much, I fly out to where the ballista. I see as far as I can.
Okay.
The ballista aiming.
Okay.
And above the water. Not enough to where someone could come up and attack me, but just like float there.
Yeah. So you're a good 10, 15 feet above the water.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. So you.
Can I do a perception check to make sure, like, see if the mermaid shark has something different so that I can identify it, so I can shoot it and not hit a wrong shark?
Yes. Go ahead
Or
and.
does it look like the other sharks?
Go ahead and roll for perception.
Yeah, Hunter's Mark. You can throw it on her, then you would know.
Too late.
Yeah, I know.
13 plus perception.
Plus perception. So 16.
Okay. Near as you can tell, the only one that is identifiable is the one that is leaving behind a trail of blood from where Koenig hit it with a javelin earlier.
So that's the mermaid. No,
That's the shark.
Okay.
That's the shark that Koenig threw a javelin at earlier.
So I can still use Hunter's Mark.
Or yeah. Yeah, if you have Hunter's Mark, you have to use it on the target that you can see, and then you can track that target. But if you're trying to track a specific target, you have to track it before you lose sight of it. Yeah, you're right. It was the ballista that you guys shot earlier. But either way, it was a shark you guys hit earlier, and that's the one that's leading the blood trail. Otherwise, they all 5 look like sharks.
Okay, there's only 5 of them. That's not bad. Alright, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do this.
Alright, I go to the ballista.
Okay.
Oh, hey, is there anything I can use if I run out of bolts? Like, is there, like, any, like, parts of the ship that I could, like,
Roll,
use as, like, a sphere, like, make into a sphere?
roll me a wisdom check. Right.
I need you to do that.
I thought you were going to get a dice roller loaded up. 8 plus your wisdom modifier.
Oh, shit. 2.
So total 10. You wonder if maybe the javelins that Koenig was throwing around could be used. They're definitely a much lighter shot than the bolts themselves. Like, the bolts are almost as big around as your wrist. These javelins are more like the size of your thumb in diameter. So it looks like it's possible. You're just not sure how accurate or powerful it would be.
Can I grab those in case?
You can move to grab them, but they're quite a ways away. It's going to take you a couple turns.
Okay, no, I'll just stay.
Okay.
Oh, do you have any ranged weapons?
Do I?
Yes.
No, I do not. Sorry.
Not even a bow? You hunt wolves for a living. You don't have a bow?
I'm a personal person, man. You know.
In your face, danger.
God. Damn it. Okay.
That's why I said we need the ranger, man. Although, if he would learn how to range, he could have talked to these things.
That is also true.
Shamu.
Convince them to turn against the mermaid. Okay.
Yeah, be gone, Shamu.
Okay. I don't want to waste another turn, but okay. Alright, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fly over. I'm gonna hand her the light crossbow and my bolts. Annoyed in the face, like, you really don't have a ranged weapon. Like, really. And then he's going, I'm gonna float back over. I'm gonna be above the water.
Yeah.
And please let me do this on my turn. I want to, where a chink in my armor is, I'm gonna stick my sword and slash myself hard so the blood starts dripping into the water below me.
All right. Take 1 point of slashing damage.
Wait, do I have to roll a d10?
No, just 1.
Or d8, excuse me.
Nope, just once. Just 1 point.
Ah, damn it.
You're cutting yourself, so you know how much damage you can and need to inflict.
So chink in the armor. Ah, fuck. Starts dripping down. Yeah, I got these guys.
All right. Yeah, you just see those 5 sharks circling in, opposite spinning circles underneath you.
Okay. That's all I can really do.
Yep. So, Wolf, you now have a light crossbow, and you can actually now, thanks to the paladin basically dangling himself in midair as bait for these sharks, you can see pretty clearly your targets. Because yes, and because they're underwater, you still have to roll at disadvantage, but you can definitely take shots if you so choose.
Okay. Quick question. I healed you all the way. How many points I forgot to do that. How many points was that?
How many points of healing did you do?
Yeah. Remember, I picked her up, healed her,
Yeah.
put it out.
If you healed me all the way, I'm back to 32 points.
How many points did I heal you?
Because it was like 5 and 9, right? So 14?
14, yeah.
Alright. So, rolling with disadvantage. That is going to be a grand total of 3 plus your modifier.
Which modifier, Dex?
It's going to be your Dex plus proficiency, because you are proficient in light crossbows. That's going to miss, unfortunately.
Okay, now I gotta do this the hard way. I wasn't just gonna dangle up here, because I have another idea.
Okay.
Right. This is what I'm gonna do. I can see them circling in the water, right?
Yep.
That's what I'm gonna do. Dive bomb. Just down, slash, like a bungee cord. Slash, just float back up.
Okay. All right.
Sharks, I don't want to get in the water with them, so I'm
Right.
doing everything I possibly can.
Okay, so let me roll a d10 to see how many of them are within slashing distance from the surface, because the target you're trying to slash at is still effectively underwater. It's still going to be disadvantage, but
Okay.
let's see how many targets you have to choose from. 3 of them. Okay, and yeah, I was going to say we'll say that the injured one is one of them. So go ahead and roll your attack at disadvantage.
That's not fair. Hold on. I rolled a 19, then a 4. Son of a bitch. 8 plus 4, 12.
Oh, you managed to hit it.
Yes! Alright. I don't know which one the mermaid is, so wait.
You said you
Is that
You said you were targeting the injured one that you guys had injured earlier with the ballista bolt.
Yeah, that's not the mermaid. The mermaid was a crocodile.
Yeah. Would the shark still have a superficial slash where I dug the sword in, or that polymorph damage is completely gone? Okay. I thought it would be a good thing to ask. Okay.
Yep, would definitely a good thing to ask.
Hey, Luke.
Aww.
Fall asleep.
Aww.
How does a total of 16 damage look?
Ooh, that looks pretty bad. And that was just your first attack.
Yep.
Alright.
Oh, I hate you! I hate you with all of my burning passion!
Natural 1?
A natural 20, but it doesn't count!
So what was the other one?
I haven't rolled it yet. I can't believe it. I rolled a nat 20 that got me almost captured by a mermaid and eaten by sharks. And I roll another natural 20 at disadvantage.
Yeah.
I need a little.
Well, it's a 1 in 20 that'll be another natural 20.
It still hits 9 plus 8.
Yep, roll your damage.
Oh god. Oh, not bad. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty fucking sure it's dead. Wait.
How much?
With the name.
Yeah, how much
Another
damage?
16 damage.
Yep, that is dead.
Ha! And I blow back up. Fuck you guys.
Yep.
So I swing down to the water, slash it, goes, "Whoa!" And then I stick my sword in it because when it reared up from the pain, I stuck it in the side of its head and just floated back up.
Yep. All right.
Ah!
Wolf, your turn.
This is genius.
On that shark?
Sorry, what?
Are they focused on the dead shark?
They actually seem to be ignoring their injured fellow.
Oh, these sharks are savage. Alright, I shoot.
Roll by that damn fucking
All right. Rolling at disadvantage, you have to choice between an 18 and a 17, so I'm pretty sure you still frickin' hit, even at disadvantage.
Yeah.
So light crossbow is D8, correct?
D8.
Yeah.
Yeah, D8.
Because the hand crossbow is D6, and the heavy crossbow is D10.
Yeah, and we know that because of Keely. Keely loves crossbows.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. That's like one of her favorites.
I feel the same way. I love crossbows.
Yeah. 4 plus your dex, which is 4?
Yeah.
So total 8. At a random one?
Can I put a hunter's mark on for the mermaid?
You don't know which one it is.
Just choose one. Yeah.
Okay, I put hunter's mark and choose one. Whatever.
Okay.
The one.
So I'll do a D4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right.
I thought it was D6 for Hunter's Mark.
D4 to pick which one because there's 4 sharks.
Roger that.
All right. So I have it marked as to which one that is. And you shot and hit. So that is 8 for the crossbow and 4 more for hunter's marks. That's a grand total of 12.
Not too shabby.
No, it wasn't the mermaid.
You don't know.
You won't know until polymorphs.
Yep, you don't know. You won't know until you get rid of all of its sharky hit points.
Have we done any damage to the actual mermaid itself, or just its morphs?
You don't know.
Fuck. This is annoying. Alright, I'm ready to go again. Ready to go down. Because they can't do anything. All they can do is circle while I bleed.
Alright, what's the duration of his fly potion? Is it an hour?
I believe so.
Oh, we can do this all day. And we can fly out of here if we want to. Hope we just gotta pick the right direction.
Right? Because you can actually see in the other direction from where you guys are currently at, there is a 3-part wreck of yet another ship that got even more mangled than the one you guys were on. And then it's just blue sky, blue water everywhere.
Hey, can I pinch myself?
Can you what yourself?
Pinch myself? See if it's like a dream or some like.
I'm going to take. Hold on, I need to take a break real quick.
You can certainly try.
Alright, I'm gonna pinch myself.
It hurts.
So I'm physically there. Okay.
You're pretty sure, yeah. You do, though, see that 2 of the sharks kind of start circling in a wider circle.
Damn it! We should have the ranger. Although he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't talk to the sharks. He'd just be like, "I shoot it."
Or he would try to talk to the sharks and see which one was the hot babe out of them, or the hot dude, I should say.
Oh, this is a dude?
Well, the ranger is a dude playing a female. Yeah. Unfortunately, I was not able to get the map for this one completed in time. So, I have it started, but I haven't completed it, unfortunately.
Sorry.
It's alright.
That's what happened. 6-pack of Boston Lager does that to me.
Well, it is your turn.
Okay,
As you were stepping away, I described to Sarah how the wolf saw that two of the sharks started swimming in a much bigger circle.
I see. I have less option. Okay. They're smart. They're a lot smarter than I thought they would be for sharks.
Well, there's intelligence, and then there's wisdom.
I didn't know sharks were wise creatures.
Well, in comparison to how much they know, they're actually pretty wise.
I don't like them. Alright.
Fortunately, the two that remained actually are very close to the surface.
That's fine.
Can I keep on him?
It's Koenig's turn.
I'm going to attack again.
Okay.
Trying to do everything I can. Now, since they're close to the water, disadvantage or not disadvantage?
Still disadvantage because the bodies themselves are actually underwater.
My lowest roll was 11. 11 plus 8.
That'll hit.
Oh. Game. 13 for that attack.
Alright.
Oh, I hate myself. You won't believe this, Z. I rolled natural 1 twice.
Oh, no.
Why would I re-roll the day? Thank you. At disadvantage.
Okay. No, reroll the days, you just reroll once.
Okay, I rolled a 13.
Okay, that'll hit.
Two natural ones.
So, in other words, hey, Martin, fuck you. Oh, by the way, fuck you.
So basically, how I imagine it. He slashed, and then his sword slipped out of his hands a little bit. He caught it, going down for the next attack, almost slipped out of his hands again. I was like, oh shit! And then he just.
It's like, slip, no!
And so I slapped 13 plus 8.
Alright.
As much as funny it would have been to watch my sword just into the water and just watch it.
Oh, yes, I was waiting for it.
That's why I have that reroll today.
Not anymore.
That'd be the worst, especially if you got an enchanted item and just into the water. And just,
There it goes.
you're just no. Okay, my damage die are actually being kind of nice to me today. I kind of like it. Another 13 damage.
Okay. As you go to swim back up, it's going to take an attack of opportunity against you and try and bite.
Yes.
It's going to miss. It wasn't a natural 1. It was the next number.
Oh, so it went to attack and it slipped. Oh.
Well, some of the flotsam from the water got in the way. Got in its eye. And yes, the wolf. So the one that you hunters marked and the one that he hit are the two that are still circling underneath him.
How far are they away from me?
They haven't really moved from their spot, so it's still about 25, 30 feet.
Alright, I should forget.
I wish I could say something.
What do you want to say?
The mermaid wouldn't be directly under me. Why would it be in the kill zone? It's one of the ones that floated out to the side. That's what I think. That's what I would do if I was the one controlling these things. Because I am 100% sure that these things are that the cheat's controlling these goddamn things, or they're just assholes of sharks.
All right, I'm gonna shoot.
Okay.
I'm wrong about what I thought it was. I thought, well, Z, you know what I thought.
Yeah, you thought it was an aboleth.
Yes, and I was about to say you're a dick.
I wanted to make a fight that would be extremely difficult, and if the dice aren't with you, it's very easy for you to die, but also at the same time, if they are with you, very easy to beat. It's literally one of those where the dice are going to decide whether you live or die.
The dice don't like me. Why would you do this?
So, Sarah is rolling to shoot at disadvantage still. And I'm pretty sure that's still going to hit because the low number was 10.
Yeah, it's gonna.
I have 20 bolts.
Okay, so that's down to 3 now, I think, if I remember correctly.
3? Only 3?
Or is it 4? Not down to... No. Not down to 3 or 4, down by 3 or 4.
Yeah, that'd be right.
By the way, Sarah, your head's like the bottom of the screen. You could also tilt it down, that would work too.
These are some fascinating battles.
Alright, so 6 plus 4 is 10. And with that, those two are actually going to stop circling, and they're going to dive down and out. Roll me a perception check, please.
Hey, Martin, are any of those enchanted? Your bolts?
No, I don't have anything enchanted in terms of range. That would be dope. Oh, if only I had that wand of magic missile that I could have got, but I had to give it up.
So, Sarah, your perception is 14 plus.
14 plus 4, so 18.
Cool. So yeah, you just see the two sharks that had started swimming wider circles earlier slip under each end of the ship just barely. Koenig, what was yours?
15.
So you basically rolled the same result. You see that these two sharks that have been circling underneath you are now diving down deeper, and the other sharks are swimming around the ship as a whole now.
Okay.
Can I jump in the water?
How about no? That's a terrible idea.
Well, what I was thinking is, never mind, it won't work.
Don't worry, I have a plan. I have a plan for a plan. I have plans for other plans. I'm thinking that. He's not very smart, but he's extremely wise. Well, actually, you know what? He's actually 15 intelligent, so he's moderately intelligent.
Well, you're smarter than I am. I'm only a 12.
Actually, my stats are really fucking ridiculous. Some of them.
I put my good stats where I needed them.
Yeah, I wish I had strength of 20 and charisma of 20. Honestly,
I have 16 as my charisma. So I have pretty good charisma.
Huh? I just thought of something brilliant.
Oh, what's that?
Can we communicate?
Oh, don't worry. I got you. See. All right, it's all good. I got this. Oh, I think that's concentration.
I'm listening.
Oh no, I'll wait for my turn.
Which I believe it is now because the sharks have made their moves.
Well, I don't see any of them.
Yeah, you can see the two that were circling underneath you, but they look to be at least a good 20, 30 feet straight down from the surface of the water.
Damn. They're smart.
They're net.
The closest that looks to being a net on the deck is some of the wrecked rigging, but it looks like you'd have to cut it free from where it's attached to the mast, the tip of which dips into the water on the continental shelf side, and where it's attached to the railing still. You do see the open hatch for the hold, that the croc had moved past. So you think there might be some net down there, possibly, but that would be the only place that you could think of to see.
Are there any cannons on the other wreck ship that we can see?
Roll me a perception check, please.
I got an idea.
Can you roll for me?
Sure.
Fudge! Can I have advantage since I'm up in the air?
No.
Fudge, okay. 7 plus 5. 12.
Which is better than Sarah's because it's 6 plus her mod, which I believe is plus 4. Or is it plus 3 for perception?
Plus 4.
Plus 4. So yeah, he rolled a 12, you rolled a 6. If there is any cannons over there, it's probably on like the far side of the wreck that's out of sight, or maybe inside the wreck. Yeah.
Actually, I want to go over there.
Yeah, I used stuff to go over there.
You stealth, okay.
It's not possible for you to move from your wreck to that wreck over there without getting in the water. Unless you're flying. Unless you're flying.
So I'm going to
Okay,
fly down and say, hop
Sarah, I can barely hear you that far away from the mic. If you want to lean back, you can at least tilt the camera forward.
Alright.
There you go.
Is that better?
Yep, I can hear you better now. So what were you saying?
I jumped on his back.
Okay. So you guys were able to... Yeah. You guys were able to take a couple of turns to fly over there. It's about 120 some feet. Actually, probably more like 150 feet to the different wrecks. This one looks like it was battered pretty badly by the rocks in whatever storm, because it's now in 3 pieces. You've got the prow, you've got the stern, and you've got the midsection in just a good 15-20 foot break in between each one, just utterly taken to the rocks and destroyed. Looking inside the hold through one of the breaks, you don't see a cannon, but you do see a cracked open treasure chest with coins spilling out about 4 feet underneath the surface of the water.
Oh!
I looted it.
Alright, so I fly down, the halfling jumps down. I got my sword ready. Watch the waters.
Alright.
I love how we just like, the mermaid is like, we're not interested in you anymore.
So, you're going to try and swim down, Wolf, and start basically picking up the coins and gems and other trinkets and whatnot and throwing them in a backpack or something?
Yeah, I have a bag of holding.
That's right. I gave you a bag of holding. Forgot about that. All right. So you're going to basically take your turn doing that?
Yeah.
And because you're 3 foot...
Oh, first I want to make sure there's no traps. Traps.
You do find that the chest actually was trapped, but having been underwater for however long, not to mention the chest itself being broken, the trap is effectively disarmed. It used to be trapped, but it's not anymore.
Alright, awesome.
So.
Yeah, I start looting.
Alright, so that's going to be your action. Meanwhile, surprise, surprise, some sharks come swimming up. 4 of them.
Different sharks?
No. They're actually able to swim up into the broken part of the hold. So 4 of them are going to come up. You had a prepared action, so I will let you attack as well, Koenig. But they're going to attack you because you're the closest one that they can see.
Me?
Yeah. You said you were standing in the way to make sure, keeping an eye out for sharks. So they're going to come up and attack you. So that one is going to hit.
Bring it.
Does 16 hit your armor class?
False.
Correct. Okay, that's what I thought. So that one's going to miss. That one is going to miss. And that one is going to miss. So only one is actually going to hit you.
That one was a little faster than the others.
Yep. And it is going to deal a grand total of 5 slashing damage to you.
Tis but a scratch.
Just but a scratch.
Great attack.
Yep. Roll your counterattack that you had prepared. Mind you, 2 of them are wounded.
How did 15 look?
To hit, it will definitely hit. Which one do you want to hit?
The one that's more wounded.
The most wounded one, actually. Okay. Yeah. You said how much damage?
8 damage.
All right. It seems to still be alive and barely hanging on. But
Oh, yeah.
But they've now had all of their turns, and it is now your actual turn.
Goody.
Because basically all...
Attack twice.
when you have a prepared action like that, it's only the one.
Oh, okay. Alright, well,
So basically their 4 attacks and your 1 all happened at once.
Oh, okay.
And so now it's your actual turn.
Alright. Attacking.
Okay? Still a disadvantage because they're completely underwater.
I'm not attacking the wounded one. Fuck that shit. I'm attacking one that's completely alive.
Completely fresh? Alright.
Yeah, I rolled a natural fucking 20.
Nice. Alright.
Alright, let's see what happens. Let's see how much damage I do. Oh, shit. Okay, hold on. Yep, that's unacceptable. I'm gonna use one of my divine smites. Divine Smite, don't fail me now. Okay, that's not failing me. I like it. That one did fail me. You son of a bitch. Shut up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do I times 2 each die? I know each
Every
die
single die.
Every single die, but I don't add it all together then times 2.
You either roll twice the number of dice, or you add all the dice together in times 2, and then add your modifier after that.
Roger that. Okay.
Regardless of whether you double your dice by rolling twice the number of dice, or double your dice as in roll the dice and then times that times 2, you always add the modifier after the times 2.
Oh my god. Okay. Alright, so let me add all the dice. Let me add all the dice together. 22 times 2 is 44. 44 plus 7.
You decapitate it.
Just with one attack.
Yep.
Was it the mermaid?
No,
I hope they fear me.
but slowly process of elimination.
Alright.
Wolf, are you going...
I'm going for the one, so...
Oh, your second attack is going for one of the wounded ones. Okay.
The one that's on its last leg.
Okay. Yep.
12 plus 8.
That'll hit.
How does a 9 look?
For damage, that's enough to kill it.
So, that's funny. I just swing my sword around, just cleave off one of its heads, and then the other one I just stick it in just a quick, and it just like,
yep.
It cringes and just stiffens like the board and just floats and starts floating.
Yep, just starts to float away.
I'm killing these guys. They just can't handle this. Of course, I'm steadily running out of spells. I think I have one more Divine Smite left.
Alright. And it is now the wolf's turn. So you've held your breath for 1 round. Are you continuing to hold your breath and loot, or are you going to try and fight? What are you going to do?
Keep holding my breath and loot.
All right. What is your? I believe it's based off of Constitution score. What is your Constitution score? I gotta double check something.
My modifier or the
Score.
The actual
Your actual score.
16.
16? All right. Let me double check one thing.
Easy. If you get knocked unconscious with the spell of fly, it still works, doesn't it?
No.
Because it's not like a spell they concentrate. It's a thing that's natural.
It still works, but because you're not consciously staying aloft, you fall.
Damn, I was hoping that it's like if you're driving and you pass out, that you keep going. So if you're going up and you get knocked out, you just keep going up.
That's funny.
You're like, oh shit, he's going up.
That's
Wake up, you're like almost to the stratosphere. You're like, oh.
we haven't
Let's
hit this
see.
damn mermaid yet.
I don't know which one it is. I killed 2 of them. There's only 2 left, so the mermaid doesn't have much options.
Yep. Here's what I'm looking for. Okay. So you're actively holding your breath, so you actually have 1 minute plus your Constitution modifier, which is 3, so you have 4 minutes that you can hold your breath. Actively holding your breath. That is very impressive. Alright, so you're 2 rounds into 40 rounds. So you have 38 rounds to keep holding your breath before you start taking damage from suffocation. That is insane. I'm just going to say that now. That is insane.
So long. You're like a fish.
Speaking of fish, they are going to attack you now.
Bring it.
So that is going to be a 23 to a break on the first one.
That's
Are
impressive.
they attacking me or him?
Him. And only a 16 on the second attack.
16 misses.
Yeah. For a grand total of 5 more slashing damage.
Hey, can we bring Jake? Can Jake talk to these guys?
My little fish back here. So, Koenig, it is back to your turn again.
I'm going to kill that mermaid. I don't want to. I wonder if I could Nah, I'm not going to. Might be a neutral one. Be like, hey, why are you even attacking?
Why would you want to read?
You don't even know why we're here. I'm going to attack the other wounded.
Okay.
13 plus 8.
Okay, so there's an unwounded one and there's a wounded one.
I'll hit the wounded.
Alright, 13 plus 8 will hit.
Yes! I love it.
The die by itself would hit, by the way.
Damn right. Their armor class is not very high. I was
No.
worried about that.
No, these are just regular reef sharks. They're not wearing barding of any kind, although that would be pretty kick-ass.
That would be armored sharks. That's what I'm probably wearing armor! Why? 16 damage.
That is enough to kill it. Wolf, the one that you had hunters marked earlier, you noticed that the spell in the back of your mind, it's been kind of maintaining it, it fades.
Okay.
So, it opens its maw to try to bite me, and I kind of just ram. I'll take damage. I don't even care. I ram my sword up into its jaw, and my fucking arm hits like the top of its mouth. Just.
All right. Let's see. I'll make it a D4, nice and small. 3 slashing on your arm.
And with my arm jammed into the shark's the blades out the top of its head with the teeth in my arm, I turn and as I pull out, I go, "Hello, my lady," because I know it's the mermaid. Yeah, you better start swimming.
All right, Wolf, your turn again. Are you still looting?
Wait, I only attacked once.
Oh, that was only one attack. You're right. My bad. Go ahead and roll.
plus 8.
Yep, that hits.
I love it.
That
modifier is just.
Yep, 16 will hit. And that was with a disadvantage still, right?
Of course not.
You've been underwater this whole time. It's still disadvantage.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, I'm sorry. I thought we were fucking. I was underneath.
The disadvantage for underwater only stops if they come out of being underwater.
Oh. For some reason, I was thinking that the chest was. I thought it was like kind of like.
The chest is 4 feet underwater. You guys are in the hold, standing next to it. You are waist or chest deep in water.
See, I didn't think that was disadvantage.
It's underwater combat. It's disadvantage. It wasn't disadvantage earlier. It wasn't disadvantage because one was underwater and one wasn't. It was anybody involved in the fight is underwater, therefore disadvantage unless you're a water creature.
See, I thought we were like at like maybe chest high. I thought that since my arms were free, that it wasn't disadvantage. My bad. See, I was under the impression that it was underwater. Like,
no.
Underwater. I'm sorry, Z. I'm a literal guy. Like when you say
if any one combatant is underwater, it's underwater combat.
Okay, my bad, Z.
So roll disadvantage for that last one to see if that shark actually got killed.
Oh, but it was such a cool kill. 7 plus 8.
That'll still hit.
Good.
All right, so roll with disadvantage for this one.
This cool kill was still there. Alright. And then I'm going to attack the mermaid shark.
Yep, with disadvantage still. Trust me, with this situation of this kind of combat, I will tell you when disadvantage disappears.
Okay. Quick question. I can still use a bone. Can I use on my bonus action to channel divinity on her?
Sure.
Another quick question. Since because it's kind of technical, it is a shark right now. If I channel divinity on the shark, and she reverts back to a mermaid, is my channel divinity canceled?
Which channel divinity are you trying to do? Because that does make a difference.
The one that's I choose a creature in front of me. When it dies, my channel divinity is over.
What is the channel divinity effect? That's what I need to know.
The creature itself. Like the creature.
Not what does it affect, what is the effect?
Oh, I pretty much it's the one that I get advantage on attack rolls.
Oh, the Vow of Enmity?
Yes.
I would say because it's the same creature, not the same form. I would say because it's the same creature, it would continue.
I rolled a 9 and a 2. Since I'm going to use my channel divinity, my first roll, I'll take the. You know what? Never mind. I'll just take it next round. Since I missed my bonus action to finish off my turn, I do the channel divinity because we've been pissed off because I keep missing.
All right. And so Wolf, you're continuing to underwater loot.
Well, just 1 minute. How close is the shark? Is it within arm's range?
No, Koenig is directly between the two of you.
Oh, so they're not circling around him.
No. Well, there's only the one to even be, but it's just doing it back. Yeah.
I like they're boxed, so they can't move around.
I'll continue to loot. Freaking loot. Yeah.
All right.
I was gonna say if it was like swimming around, I could just stab it if it was in armed like.
No, it's just basically backing up and taking a ramming bite every time. So it's going to take another bite attack. Time for the big boy to come out again. Yes! That's why I love this thing.
I hate that thing!
So, rather than roll once and double it, I'm going to roll 2. So, minimum and maximum damage for a total of 9, plus modifier of 2 to make 11.
That's actually a pretty good hit, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. That was a good bite.
Yep.
She didn't appreciate me calling her my lady.
She found your codpiece.
You leave him alone.
And it's back to your turn, by the way.
After she bites it down, I'm like, ah. I was like, if you wanted that, we could have did this on top of the rocks. Which I'm still all for that. That's fine. Okay, let's see. Now I don't have disadvantage because of the channel divinity, so I'm just like, Torm, guide me. 18 plus 8.
That will hit.
Definitely. And no, not yet. 7 plus only 12 damage for the first hit.
Okay.
14 plus 8.
Hits again.
8 plus 7. Ooh, that's a good hit. 15 damage for the next hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yes. And your turn again. Are you continuing to loot?
Yeah.
He just glances. He's been so fighting, activated, blocking, getting bit and stuff. He just stops for a moment. He's like,
Looks around, doesn't see the little halfling popping up, looks down, there she is. Just shoveling stuff in.
just.
Alright. Shark's gonna take another bite at you. And this is gonna miss. So, your turn.
Missed my cod piece. Was that my cod piece again?
No, for your leg this time.
Oh, okay.
Drumsticks.
9
Hey,
plus
can
8.
you give me a tooth?
Are you saying that while underwater?
Yeah.
What?
Okay, there goes 1 minute worth of air.
Savage.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds effectively gone. Okay. You still have 3 minutes left. What was your total, Koenig?
9 plus 8.
17. Yeah, that hits.
Yeah. Ooh. I'm not gonna lie. I'm loving my damage die right now. It is being really good to me today.
Okay.
It needs to be like this all the fucking time. Usually I'm getting 1s, 3, 2, 1, 3. Not today. How does 15 look?
That looks like it's enough to kill a normal shark, but once again, this one reverts back to a mermaid form, and doesn't look too well, actually. She's looking hurt and pissed.
He's going to he's going to swing it, but he actually paused for a moment. He's like, "Wow, she really is beautiful." And he's going to slash.
Okay.
19 plus 8.
That is going to hit.
Ooh, that's max damage right there. Hold on. I'm gonna use my last divine smite because I'm going to make this a big boom.
Okay.
Hold on. Wait. How does 32 look?
She looks really fucking pissed.
She's not dead? God.
Not quite, but she looks really fucking pissed.
The slash morphs back, admires her beauty, and then with all it glows and the water simmers around it, and just whoop, boom, just slashes across her chest. She's like, oh.
Yep. Wolf, are you continuing to loot?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Fuck it. Did you find anything like potions or anything? Alchemist file.
Okay. So I got to keep track of rounds of air versus rounds of loot separately now. All right. She is just going to give you this death glare, and all of a sudden, the air around you just becomes filled with this opaque white cloud, and she disappears from sight.
Can I do a perception check?
You're looting.
She can still do perception. Let me double check one thing on this particular spell.
Hold on. My channel. Hold up. Let me
Channel Divinity will allow you to still track, I'm pretty sure, because of how Vow of Divinity works. But
let me just double check real quick. Alright, here we go.
okay, answers that question. Yes, you can do a perception. Keenick cannot visually. So I will roll for you. 15 plus. You can see that she is swimming away.
One second. What the hell is this? I always have a hell of a time trying to find my channel Divinity.
Vow of Enmity, right? Under Paladin?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Oh, that's damn. I should have Oath of Devotion. I just read that one. Oh, it's probably Oath of Vengeance.
It is under Vengeance. Vow of Enmity is a bonus action. It was definitely within 10 feet when you cast it.
Okay, yeah, that has nothing to do with tracking.
Okay, yep. So.
Oh no. Oh, which? Oh god. Which way? Oh no. I don't know how it's supposed to. Oh god. I feel like a wizard again. 2 ways to go. Okay, I think
you completely lose sight of your quarry. And,
shame. She was a beaut.
Yep. Just let me check one more thing to make sure I'm not screwing myself. Okay, that's what I thought for that one. I'm pretty sure this other one as well.
Yeah, I want to kill this thing.
Yep. Okay. But yes, Wolf, you're able to see that she is in fact swimming away. Effectively, Koenig, being that your head is above water in this fog cloud, you are effectively blinded.
That's fine, because I can still fly.
Yeah.
I continue to get my...
There's only one hole that she can go out of.
No. You have you're basically in the midsection of the ship, and it's like this. There's out that way, and it's a full-on break. Someone literally,
into the ocean.
Yeah, she's just swimming away to the ocean.
Could I essentially drop my head down into the water, or is it not like a cloud that I'm thinking of, but my vision is actually blinded?
No, as you put your head underwater, you can see clearly again, and by the time you would think to do that, to see underneath the water where she's at, she's about 10-15 feet away, swimming away from you.
Guess what Koenig's gonna do?
Swim after her?
No, he's gonna since he's half in the water, he can still essentially go up and fly. He's gonna fly out the hole of the deck and see her under the water above, and I'm gonna dive bomb on her.
Okay. So you fly out the hole of the ship, because, again, how I described this, you've got back end, midsection, front end, completely separated, like a child's toy, literally being broken, separated, and set down.
Okay.
That's how I described it originally, and that's still the situation. So you're able to, like, move out of the hold through this break in the ship, fly up. It doesn't take you very far to get up out of the fog cloud, fly along, and you can see where she is. But by the time you've gotten up and over to there, she's still a good 15 feet ahead of you, and you'd have to catch up, basically.
That's fine. She ain't going nowhere.
All right. Wolf, you're continuing to loot?
Yep.
All right.
I mean, I'm going off to fight things by myself, essentially. I'm just like, fuck it.
You're used to this.
She ain't going nowhere.
Say what, Sarah?
Can I like double fist it? Can I like?
Yeah, you're totally double fisting it. You just got the bag of holding set on the ground, and you're just double fisting, hand over fist, pulling gems and coins and necklaces and earrings and candelabras and anything that was jammed into this huge, formerly trapped and now shattered and virtually useless chest. You're just shoveling it all in there.
All right.
Can we get some stuff like this in our like campaign? Like, there's a chest. That's great. Let's loot it. We gotta fucking scrounge for everything. This one's like, oh look, a chest.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Meanwhile, you can see her turn around from where she's at, kind of look around, see you, and suddenly it starts getting really, really hot. And as you look down, you realize that your armor is glowing and not for a holy reason.
Oh, she better leave my fucking armor alone.
She has cast heat metal on it.
Oh! Ow! That's cold-blooded.
So I'm gonna.
I dive on her ass.
You're gonna take 7 fire damage.
I'm like, oh, that hurts.
And she is actually going to continue to swim backwards, just keeping a direct eye on you, and basically swim in like a 45-degree downward angle.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to catch her. I think I don't have any spells, or else I compel her to duel.
Why we don't have a wizard?
Be helpful. I'm more mean to like a fish man. I'll just swim after her.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I wish there was a doppelganger. Then I could change into a freaking mermaid.
There you go.
Change to any, just about.
Anything humanoid. Anything humanoid.
With my remaining, for my action, I would like to heal 16 points of damage.
Okay.
That's my action, lay of hands. So my lay of hands is essentially empty.
Okay.
Alright, hold on 1 second. So 24 plus 16, 6. So that'd be 40. 40 damage. So I'm up to 40 now. I need to get in the character sheet. This one's rugged. And I want to, for my movement, I'm still gonna go after her. I'm gonna she's going downwards.
Yep, kind of like a 45-degree angle.
I don't have time to wait around. So I'm going to, with my movement, I'm going to put my sword. I'm actually. Well, no, I could do that as a bonus action.
Yeah.
Put my shield up.
As far as her distance traveled goes, you think you can go directly above her and then drop straight down. You're pretty sure you have enough fly distance to do that if you wanted to.
Yeah. As my bonus action, though, I want to put my shield up because I don't want that hitting when I get in the water. I don't want that stopping me. And I have my sword, and I fly up. I just, both hands on the sword, aiming downwards, and just...
All right. So roll your attack. Well, actually,
Can't be disadvantage.
it can't be disadvantage, but I would say roll without proficiency because of how unorthodox your attack is.
That's fine. Oh, no, that's my 8, though. Can I get half? I do got 2 hands on the sword.
There's also the fact of how far down she is under the water and how far you have to fall to make it happen.
Let's do this. I don't even care. Let's go. Ooh, how does a 15 look?
Total?
Yeah. Well, I didn't add anything.
Okay. So you're able to line it up, and you're able to drop. I'm just picturing with how much actual water you're going to have to travel through.
Remember, I don't have any shield.
Right. Because by now,
he'd go down.
he would go down, but
he'd have enough momentum from the dive.
He would have enough momentum from the dive to make it. Yeah, you'd have enough momentum from the dive to make it, but please make me a Constitution saving throw first.
I'm going to use my... Oh, I don't have any initiative. Okay, never mind.
Inspiration?
I didn't get any inspiration from last game? Damn. Usually it gets replenished really fast. Yep, it's just a good old-fashioned 10.
Okay, you thought you had a pretty good breath of air in your lungs, but the impact still managed to knock it out of you. So, what is your con modifier?
2.
You're pretty sure that's how many rounds you're going to be able to hold your breath for, but you're not entirely sure.
Did I hit her?
That's what I'm trying to think is, you were about 15 feet up. She's about 40 feet down. That would have been a fall of roughly 70 feet.
Yes, he would have hit. With the momentum, yeah, he would have hit.
He would have only had 15 feet of momentum, though, and then the rest would have been 40 feet of water. So I'm trying to...
The pressure from the water would pull him down.
No, that's not... It's resistance of the water. The pressure of the water doesn't pull down. Pressure of the water crushes as you go down. That's the difference.
Yeah, that's not a comfortable
feeling. Yeah.
I was going in a dive formation.
She is injured. So
she is injured.
So what's her speed? Because if he's doing that,
injury doesn't. Sarah, 5th edition speed does not get affected by injury.
No, you're 3.5.
This is why you need to play with us more. This is why you need to play with us more. You know what? Honestly, because of how far down she was, I would say you're able to get to her, but you're not able to actually make an attack, to be honest, just because of how far you would have had to travel.
That's fair.
Because basically trying to use the momentum trying to use the momentum of 15 feet of dive would only take you normally about 15 feet down, and you've managed to get all the way down to her. The momentum would be gone. You wouldn't have any power or thrust behind your attack. So at most, you'd be able to touch her and be like, oh, look, your skin. Yes?
Okay, but remember, this has nothing to do with D&D, but it does apply here. So, like, remember Mythbusters? When they were doing that test for momentum from the water? Alright, they said that even with, like, a small impact, it added an extra 5 feet.
Yes, and if you look at the way that an Olympic diver enters the water, it's needle-like, exactly how he just did.
Yeah, so he would be able to attack her.
When I said 15 feet of momentum would give you 15 feet of depth, that's what I was talking about. I was talking about an Olympian, not just a simple body falling off of the Golden Gate Bridge.
True.
A body falling off the Golden Gate Bridge wouldn't make it... A body falling off the Golden Gate Bridge wouldn't have made it more than 10 feet. And most of the bones would have been broken. And that was with much more than 15 foot of momentum. A professional dive, which is effectively what he pulled off by having a sword in front of him, would have gotten a 1-for-1 height to penetration. And I'm being nice to say that he got the other 30 feet down.
That's because I pulled it on shield.
That too. Because that would have been like either dislocate your shoulder or some other nastiness.
I'm glad I didn't roll a nat 1. I broke my fucking arms.
All right, so you're able to get down to her.
So what you're saying is she's looking up and all of a sudden, boom, just in front of her, flowing hair, armor glowing and sizzling in the water.
Yep.
Radiant
Yep.
power in front of her. Just looking at her, she's like, "Oh shit, who did I fuck with today?"
Yep.
Could have had sex on the rock, but no, she didn't want to. Now she's gonna die.
And the wolf is continuing to loot, I assume.
Yeah.
All right.
Why not? I'm too far from the action. Why the fuck would I care?
Yeah. Yeah. 8 rounds of looting in. Damn. All right. Okay. Oh, you've barely, like, as you pull it, it's kind of like when kids are playing in the sand. You pull it out and more falls out of the chest into the spot.
Awesome.
This was like a massive, like, aristocrat's trunk. It's like 5 foot long, easily 3x3 height and depth. This thing's a massive trunk. So, meanwhile, she looks up at you and has this grin on her face as you come this close. First off, you take an additional bit of fire damage, but because you're underwater, you have resistance to it, so it's not going to be as bad. 8 total, half to 4 is still relatively decent.
Fantastic.
And now I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
For what?
She's casting another spell.
I hope it doesn't have anything to do with Charmed.
No.
How does a non-natural 20 look?
It looks like you'll be taking half damage from this as well.
What is it? Why do you have so many dice in your hand? Stop it.
Because you are going to take 5 thunder damage as your ears ring out. Because you're also underwater, consider yourself deafened for... Let's see here. Oh, this round only, as opposed to much longer.
I don't need to hear the power, the great word of Torm to tell me to cast this evil to the depths of the ocean.
And with those 2 spells hitting you, she's going to scuttle away.
We go after her.
All right. You're with your swim speed effectively being half of your normal speed underwater. You're able to move 15, and she's able to get 30.
She's gonna get away.
Yeah, she's gonna get away. This is becoming a what did John say? Of attrition? Yeah.
Yep.
There's no point.
Battle of attrition.
Yeah, there's no point in this. She's gonna get away.
So you want to try and just swim for the surface then?
I'm gonna swim for the surface and then just fly out of the water.
All right. So again, you're able to move half speed, so you're able to make it 15 feet towards the surface out of 45.
I'll use my action to get out of the water and float up. Like dash.
So that's going to be another 15 feet because again, you're underwater. Your movement is halved.
So I would actually have 30.
Yeah, so you would get a total of 30. You're still 15 feet from the surface.
I'm that far. Oh shit.
You went down 45 feet.
Damn. Yep, I'm out.
All right. And I assume the wolf is continuing to loot.
Yeah, because I have no idea what the fuck is going on. Well,
Not to mention mad monies.
Mad monies. I guess, you know what? I won't be a complete douchebag. I'll go show Keenock what the hell I got.
All right, cool. So you poke your head out and you see a half elf, right?
And what am I?
No, him.
I'm a
Keenock. Keenock.
Yes, I'm a half elf.
All right. So yeah, you stop looting for a second. You swim over to the side of the hold and look out, and you see this half elf in half plate just pell-mell trying to get towards the surface hard and fast as he can. And a very wounded, but nonetheless spiteful little mermaid sitting back, floating, almost giggling at him. About from where you are, I'd say 60, 70 feet away.
So I can't throw a rope that far.
Yeah, and tilt your screen down again. Your eyes are literally being covered by our little mini screens. There you go. You can see a preview of your screen as well as I can. Try and keep your face in the center of your screen.
Okay.
You're not the only one with this problem, by the way. John and Martin have a tendency to do that as well when they're together. Martin's doing really good today, but yeah.
That's because I'm in the middle. We have 3 people on a small couch. John refuses to push the table forward. Refuses.
You can also take the camera.
Why?
You can also take the computer screen and tilt it forward. That will change the angle of the camera.
Yeah, we do that, but it's still kind of cramped. It would be better.
I'm not talking about this way. I'm talking about this way.
Oh.
You guys are almost consistently at the bottom of the screen. We're here to watch you guys, not to watch his room. All right.
You know what? This is kind of pissing me off a little bit. She's giggling at me. Oh.
Yep.
Bitch.
Yep.
Can I go back to looting? Or
If you want to, you certainly have the movement to do so. Because it was like 5 feet to look out, 5 feet to come back. Huh?
does he look okay?
How is your health, Koenig?
My health is doing great.
Okay.
30. Can't be 30. Yeah, 31.
Out of?
56.
Alright, not bad. So, being that it is her turn again, I need you to make me another con save.
God damn. 14.
Alright, that's enough to only take half. You're swimming up towards the surface, looking up, and you notice that the light goes from being this tropical yellow and blue mixed together to more of a silvery color, and suddenly you get struck with a beam of silvery light. And I need to grab the correct dice.
Bitch.
Can I shoot this bitch?
She's 70 feet away, I think. What is the short range on a light crossbow?
I have no idea.
I got you. 60 feet. But the max is actually 250.
If you're underwater with a ranged weapon, you can only shoot up to the short range, and you can only shoot it at disadvantage.
Well, I can still shoot it.
You
I
could,
can still
you could,
hit her.
you could still do it on your turn, yes. And I just dropped.
I can still hit.
It's only 30 feet.
Wolf to mermaid is 70 feet.
Yes.
Range of crossbow is 60.
But I can step up.
So that would bring it to... Yeah, you could do that. I'm just saying, on your turn, you would have to do that. And you would only be... With underwater, ranged weapons cannot shoot their long range distance. Is what I'm trying to get at. Alright, so half of 14 is 7.
That's not bad. I mean, that really pisses me off, but okay.
And she's also going to use a bonus action to redo the fire damage against you. Alright.
How do I break this, spell of this fire crap?
Either dispel magic or take your armor off.
I'm gonna take it.
You know how long it takes to doff half plate?
Well, I mean, what am I supposed to do? See, you got me in a situation where I can't do anything. She's just
Don't
gonna keep
bitch at me, bitch at her.
She's pissing me off.
I'm gonna shoot her in the face. Alright?
How much damage for the moonbeam again?
Moonbeam was all of 7 damage. It's going to take you 10 rounds to take off your medium armor, dude.
Alright, I'm at 24. How much is burn damage?
4, because you're underwater.
God damn it. I'm at 20 health, and I'm going down fast. I'm probably gonna die. Like, it's not looking good. She swapped the battle attrition on me now. Damn it! They always win battle attrition. They can't take me. They're weak. Get out of here.
They gotta do what they gotta do, man.
I still think she's a hot woman. Maybe I can persuade her to leave me the hell alone. I'm a worthy adversary.
Alright. Koenig, it is your turn. You're 15 feet from the surface.
I wonder what the range is on this spell.
Which spell?
The spell for the burning armor. That's a good question. That's what I'm thinking.
It is a good question. I know the answer, but the only way for you to find out is to test it out.
Can I use a bonus action to roll Arcana?
You could roll Arcana, yes.
How far would I need to go away? Natural 20.
Here's a better question. Yeah, I believe you, but here's the situation. 1, are you trying to figure out that if you move out of range, it will end the spell, or are you trying to find out the range?
If I move out of range.
If you move out of range, would it end the spell? You don't think so. You think once the spell has been cast, all they have to do is maintain eye contact.
Oh, okay. Easy. So I don't even have... I just gotta...
Get out of sight.
Right out of mind. Alright. She hits me with the moonbeam burning. I'm like, I pondered for a moment. I look back over, and I just put up my hand like, whatever. I don't even... It's like, just blowing her off completely. It's like, oh!
Yep. So...
I get up. I'm gonna swim. The rest of I'm gonna use my action to go all. So it's 30 to get up out of the water.
You're able to get 15 feet to get to the surface of the water, and as you come to the surface, you're remembering, oh yeah, I'm in the middle of this area, and I have to swim to get to something to get out of the water.
I can fly.
True.
Out.
So you're able to get up out of the water, and you have your full fly speed.
Gonna fly and hide behind something.
All right, cool. Let me double check that so make sure I wasn't speaking, but still, it's probably the best tactic anyway. I know. So if I'm wrong, I will correct myself.
I want to use that nat 20 to dive bomb.
No, you use that nat 20 for a specific thing. You can't redirect it after you've already rolled it. Here we go.
Don't waste my natural 20s, Z. I don't get very many of them.
I know. Hang on.
I was getting nat 20s where I don't. Except for that one attack roll. That was fun. Oh my god.
Actually, it doesn't even say anything about that, so I stand corrected. So with that nat 20 to determine if moving out of range would end the spell on you, no, it seems the only way to end the spell is to either dispel or break her concentration on you.
God damn it, I have to attack her. That's the only way. Right, this has gone from fun to bullshit so fast. I hate these goddamn smart enemies. War of attrition. Alright, fuck it. I'm going to, well, with that, and from now knowing that, instead, I'm going to use, okay, now I'm actually going to go above her again.
Okay. She's about 60 feet down, but you're able to reposition yourself so you're straight above her.
Can I reposition myself to where she would look up at me, but she would see more of the sun than me? maybe possibly be like,
The sun's kind of like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon off to the side as opposed to directly up.
everything works against King. Bring it on, Torum. More challenge. Hey, at least I'm smart.
Yeah?
Alright, I'm going to... Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to float above, and as my last thing, I'm actually going to blow her a kiss.
Okay, is this going to be like a try and do a persuasion roll?
Sure, but I'm just, because I'm out of actions, because I had to use all of my action to get...
I'm not gonna treat it as an action. I'll treat it as a freebie.
Okay, I'm going to do that. And that natural's going to be awesome right here. That's what I would like. Oh, God. I'm nervous. I don't want to roll. 17. That's not bad.
That's better than what she rolled.
We have been flirt fighting a little bit.
Flirt fighting, yeah. So with that, it is the wolf's turn.
Can I shoot her? Or I move and shoot her.
All right. So you move so that you're within range with your crossbow and roll with disadvantage on your attack. So.
Do you roll?
Yep. Pretty sure 5 plus your modifiers. What is your modifiers? Your dex and your proficiency.
That would be +8.
+8. So.
Good, too.
Yeah, 5 plus 8 is 13. Would actually hit.
That might kill her.
Well, technically speaking, with even minimum damage, it would in fact kill her.
I kill her?
Yep.
Yeah!
It does that, and she actually looks really intrigued, and then an arrow goes in her neck, and he's like, fuck!
Not intrigued, but maybe more like, maybe I should go about this a different way, kind of thing.
Oh. Still. He's like, sees the arrow go in her neck, and he's just like, damn it.
Yeah. It's more like she's looking up, watching you, and all of a sudden the arrow or the bolt comes floating along, almost loses momentum, and then punches in right below her rib cage, up into her diaphragm and out up underneath her arm. And she just kind of has this surprised look, and she floats down to the bottom. She's now laying on the bottom, roughly 80 feet under the surface of the water.
Why don't you tell us specifically where she's at? That's suspicious.
Well, because at least one of you wanted to see if there was anything magical and has yet to have a clear chance to look.
I'll do it. You keep
I
moving.
go.
All right. So you use, like, we'll say 10 feet of your movement. What is your normal movement speed, by the way?
30.
30? All right. Because you have something that gives you, like, +10 to speed, right?
Yeah.
Because halflings normally have 25, so that gives you 35. Half of that would be, rounded down, 15. So yeah, you've got 5 more feet of movement this turn. What did we say?
How's my air? Wait, my air is good. Okay.
Yeah, your air is good. You're halfway through it, basically.
I can't wait until it's tomorrow.
Like, I tanned on the inside.
You're feeling a little cooked. So, Koenig, on your turn, you were directly above her. You can fly down with your fly speed and then use your action to swim down 15 feet. And because you're able to actually do this and hold your breath, I need your Constitution bonus, please.
2.
2? All right, so that is going to be 3 minutes that you'll be able to hold your breath.
That's pretty good. What if you have a negative con? Does that mean you can't hold your breath?
That means that you can hold your breath for a minimum of 30 seconds. because that's the minimum and maximum. Because that's the minimum that if you're deliberately holding your breath, that is the minimum amount of time that you can be given to hold your breath. Things can happen to shorten that, obviously, like trying to speak underwater, for example. But per raw rules as written, you have a minimum of 30 seconds, and if you have a 0 or positive Constitution modifier, it goes up from there.
I actually want to thank the paladin for like taking all the suffering and doing all the work.
I was planner, bait, healer, tank, DP. Wait. No. Yeah, DP.
DPS.
DPS.
Yeah, damage per seconds is what DPS stands for. So you hold your breath for basically this round, and you swim down 15 feet, so that brings you from 80 to 55, which is roughly the same distance that the halfling is. So now it's a race to see who can get there first. Should we do athletics rolls to see who can get there first?
Go ahead. Let's go.
All right. So round 1 of athletics rolls. What's your modifier, Sarah, for athletics?
+5.
+5? So how does a 19 look there, Koenig?
Mine's exactly 19.
Okay, so you guys are neck and neck. One of you swimming down, one of you swimming from the side, pacing each other perfectly.
Let's go again.
Yep.
Go again.
So that brings you, for a full round, that brings you 30 feet closer. So it was 60 for you, so that brings you to 30 feet, Sarah. And Koenig was 55 feet, which brings him down to 25 feet. Barely. And round 2.
Would you roll nat 20?
24.
Yeah, she beat me.
Yeah.
I got 18.
So you look over, you see this is a race, and you're pretty sure, oh yeah, I got this. And then somehow flub your stroke a little bit, and you're like, shit! Because all of a sudden, speedy little halfling swims right up to the body and starts looting. That's going to be an investigation check, so I need your investigation modifier. Because you're taking a very thorough and close look at this body.
Alright, hold on. That is a plus. I get a bonus to that, so that is a +8.
+8. That's your expertise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I love expertise. So with a +8, that is a total of 25. You find that she actually has a little, it's a very fanciful little earring. So where it comes through the ear on one side, the little piece that secures the earring in place is actually carved in such a way as to look like a theater mask, and the other side is a fairly large gem.
Nice.
Being with the mask on there and some other things you've run into, you think that this might be an earring of disguise self.
I want to.
Hence
Can I
why.
put it on?
Are your ears pierced?
I want to be a fucking shark.
Disguise self only allows you a humanoid to disguise themselves as another humanoid with a height change of up to 1 foot.
Okay, I want to disguise myself as Koenig.
But, like,
Okay, I'm a shorter version of Koenig.
that is hilarious. You'll have to attune to it.
And I'm on him.
You'll have to attune to it in order to use it, but yes, you can certainly do that.
Okay, I do that.
Other than the bolt that you put into her, that's the only accoutrement from the surface that you find.
Awesome. So I swim up to the surface and I want to talk to Koenig and we'll divide the loot.
Cool. Yay. I get to roll for that now. I am actually excited to find out how much loot you guys got, because I have yet in a very long time had a situation where there is literally just mad loot that you can rage loot in a given setting.
We should have it happen a lot more often.
Except Barovia is not as rich, at least in certain places, as you have been led to believe. Where's the tables at?
It's the mines of Fandel. We were getting paid.
Here we go.
I never got paid for saving that dwarf either.
Yeah, you did. The 10% was part of it.
That's a lot. I bet it's accumulated quite a bit since we left.
Alright.
One-time grab where they just put 10%, you can come get it as many times as you want.
As many times. You are now 10% partnership with the Dwarven Brothers.
Woo. And we brought them back alive too.
Yep. Keenik, do you want me to roll the percentile dice, or would you like to?
I don't trust my dice. You go right ahead.
Alright. So, I'm going to do this top part first. I need 6d6. That's 5. Here we go. Here's 6. Alright. 10, 6. So 6 times 100, there's 600 copper coins that you've managed to shovel in there.
Okay.
3d6 times 100. Ooh, nice. Somehow double fisting for nearly a full minute was able to shovel in 1,200 silver pieces.
That's a lot.
And 100 gold pieces.
That is also excellent.
In amongst the gems was, let's see here. Find the right thing. All right, 2d6. So 6 gold pieces worth of gems. Or no, 6 gems, each worth 10 gold pieces. And would you like to roll the 1d4, or would you like me to roll the 1d4?
Go ahead and roll.
Alright. So you already got the one magic item because it was on the mermaid. The other off table B. Okay. There we go. Magic item table B.
I thought my food was cooked.
It was getting cooked for sure.
I was gonna try to get.
That is one of the meanest tactical uses of heat metal, is to heat the armor that the person is wearing.
It was
Savage.
Well, I had a plan. I was going to use seduction, and we were getting to a seduction match.
You
first,
ooh.
and then see what happened from there.
See, you technically killed her because you gave me a little crossbow, so...
Yeah, there you go.
It's true, but you know what? That's called planning ahead. I'm a smart guy, and when we get to Barovia, you're getting a weapon of range. I'm probably gonna give you that crossbow, to be honest, because I have my javelins.
Alright. So you find amongst the loot items that you pulled in, somehow the stopper on this vial is still very well sealed. It's a red potion. Unlike the health potions that you're familiar with, which is kind of a blood red, this is more of a like fruit punch red. So it's a brighter color. Once being on the surface and looking these things over, taking the time to look at it, you come to realize that this is a filter, Philter, Ilter, of love. Of love. Filter of love. The next time you see a creature within 10 minutes after drinking this filter, you become charmed by that creature for 1 hour. If the creature is of a species or gender that you are normally attracted to, you regard it as your true love while you are charmed. This potion is rose-hued, as I described. Efflorescent liquid contains one easy-to-miss bubble shaped like a heart.
Well, this is a John potion. If he wanted to stuck to stupid Hydra, he could do it.
You know what you want to fall in love with a Hydra.
No. So you can take this and subject yourself to it, or like a poison, you can subject somebody else to it. Except, unlike a poison, it doesn't harm or kill them. It just makes them fall in love with somebody.
Huh. That's an interesting thing to have. It's loot nonetheless.
It is loot nonetheless. Now...
Hey, I can do this for girls, you know?
Yeah.
I could probably have girls fall in love with me, and hey.
Yeah. It looks to be just 1 dose's worth, so you would have to either find someone that can replicate it, or just use it as that one last-ditch effort that one time. And again, keep in mind that it's within 10 minutes of imbibing it, so you kind of want to make sure that the distractor of the target is present at the time of imbibement, possibly even the deliverer. Next question. On the Facebook page, I had mentioned that because some people would like to retain more of the experience, which I have not revealed to you yet, and of course with that, generally speaking, the loot, because this could all go bye-bye depending on what you guys decide, here's an option. I have come up with a solution to give you guys more of the experience and all of the loot instead of part or none of the loot. But there is a price to be paid.
I'm listening.
Being that these are extraplanar events happening to the characters while they are within Barovia, it would not be surprising for some kind of madness to befall the characters.
What kind of madness are you talking about?
A maddening madness.
I'm not going to read something I don't understand.
So we're attracting things. Okay.
So, well, it's not that necessarily that you're attracting things. It's that you have levels of insanity kicking in.
Well, Mario,
no, let's go for it.
Huh?
No, I'll go for it. Let's get mad together.
All right.
Well, hold on. I didn't agree to anything yet. I want to know, what do you mean by that? From a statistic point of view.
Using DC Comics as an example, Harvey Dent has a level of psychosis that went so deep that it actually caused a personality schism. In D&D terms, that would be a form of permanent madness.
I don't know. That seems a bit too dangerous. Entirely ruin a character like that.
Joker's mania is an extreme form of permanent madness in D&D terms, even though it's so far extreme that it doesn't even come close to what's actually in the book. Which, like I said, I have read what's in the book as far as random roll options for madness.
Man.
I don't know. That seems a bit. You could.
The thing is, if we can experience, then we can level up, which I can do so much more with a level up.
Not to. Well, from a character perspective, absolutely, but from a player perspective, we're on the last legs of the Barovian campaign, and we're going to be switching characters. So I'm honestly not too.
Again, having looked at the tables for your character in particular, there's some that are just like, what? How the heck would this even apply? There's some that actually kind of already fit with what's been going on. It's just now starting to actually manifest itself as a madness.
Ah, God, I don't want. I love Koenig. I don't want to ruin him.
The thing is that okay? Like, let's say we just do half experience, half loot. I mean,
So, half experience, half loot, there's actually 3 different tiers of madness. There's permanent, long-term, and short-term. Short-term, I'm not even willing to offer you for situations like this because it lasts in terms of minutes. It's like the kind of thing where it hits you like a wave, like a quick hit off of a bad drug, and then it goes away. Long-term will stick around for a lot longer than mere minutes, but it will still go away by itself. Whereas indefinite, the other ones are more of a mechanical thing. The indefinite madnesses, they are extra flaws that you add to your character sheet.
the thing is we have a cleric. Can't he counter that?
You don't know. You don't know. You don't know if he has the spells for it. You don't know if the spells that he has would be effective, which is kind of saying the same thing I just said. You could, I mean, if nothing else, you can try it and see how it goes.
Question: is a madness a form of what does that categorize as? Is that like, would that be categorized as it's non-magical, correct?
Correct.
So it would be.
So it's not a curse.
So it's a disease or sickness.
Yeah.
It's neither, but it does kind of follow along the same rules in terms of what magics affect it.
Okay. Because I know my Pally's immune to disease.
Yep, it's not a disease. As I said, it's not a disease, and it's not it's not anything along those lines. It is a separate thing, but it does function similarly in terms of certain magic spells. It specifies in here what magic spells can be used to remove it.
So for us not to get the madness, we wouldn't get any loot and very little experience. That I don't think is worth it. I think that mermaid was worth something. So, I mean, even if we go half, I think that if we can get our cleric to do some studies, I think he can help us. But I'm gonna be a group member.
Yeah.
Do you think not getting experience and not getting is worth it?
It's become a canon. The Naga is canon. You know what? For this time, I will not take a permanent one. That's not going to happen.
Okay, so you'll do one of the long terms.
I don't want to fuck up my character. That's the only reason why.
Okay.
I don't want to completely fuck up my character.
Okay.
Does that mean
the way my character's set up, he's really built to fight this in Barovia. He's really good at fighting in Barovia. If I fuck him up, the group will get fucked up.
All right.
The thing is, we're gonna get fucked up anyway because of Strahd.
We got this. I'm honestly not too worried.
Okay.
You've seen how I plan.
Oh yeah.
You've been planning all this time.
Yep. All right. So, Koenig, I need you to roll me a d10, please, and I will roll the percentile die.
Let's go with a 7.
All right. So, nope. I just needed to know. And I need you to roll another one as well, please. Because basically one of these rolls is for the wolf, and one of these rolls is for Koenig.
Well, I got a 2.
All right. So one of you gets the 2, and one of you gets the 10. Or the 7, rather.
And it says 7.
Yeah, D10.
Oh, God.
Alright.
So good. My character's gonna be nuts.
Not entirely. Like I said,
He already-
like I said,
already-
like I said, the long-term ones do eventually wear off.
Yeah, because I don't want to. Permanent's too dangerous. That's not worth it. Because if I shoot myself in the foot too hard, like.
All right.
Then for deep.
All right.
Then we'd lose one of the we would lose a healer of the group and the tank.
I can actually see this particular one already fitting quite well with what Koenig's doing. He's just going to do more of it, like obsessive compulsively. So,
He is very.
rolling on the long-term madness chart for Koenig, the character feels compelled to repeat a specific activity over and over, such as washing hands, touching things, praying, counting coins, etc. So pick something that Koenig does regularly and just have him start doing it obsessively.
Or he does keep track of all the coins in the group.
Except for now the ones in the bag of holding.
That will be put in the pot.
Alright.
Yeah, okay.
And for the wolf, also fitting with what we know of the character, but now the character is starting to join everyone else in knowing this stuff. The character suffers from partial amnesia. The character knows who he or she is and retains racial traits and class features, but doesn't recognize other people or remember anything that happened before the madness took effect.
Shit, so I'm liable of hitting a party member. Wow, yay!
So you wake up, and you're going to wake up from this little event, and you're not going to recognize anybody around you. Nor are you going to remember where you got whichever magical item you guys choose to keep. Because the coins, that's easy. Just whatever Martin wrote down, you guys get to keep half of the coinage. The magic items, because they can't be split in half, you have to pick which one you want. Earring of Disguised Self or Filter of Love?
I think that's kind of
Earring.
Yeah. Alright. So, you're going to wake up with this earring in your hand, and you're like, where the fuck did this come from? How did I get it? Who are you, all you people? Who is that running into the vineyard? Why are there a whole bunch of creepy things coming around me? What the literal fuck? And these madnesses are going to last for times that only I will know. So I'm going to have to make sure I don't lose these notes.
I guess the OCDC isn't that bad. That's not a bad gig.
Yeah, like I said, there are things on, honestly, both of these charts, but especially the indefinite one. I would say a good half of the items Koenig already does to a very mild sense. So if he rolled that item, he would start to become obsessive about that thing that he already does. So he just starts doing more of it.
I'm obsessed over Irina. I'm obsessed over Thor. I'm obsessed with keeping the coins intact.
See, your character wasn't ruined.
He's obsessed.
Your character wasn't ruined. So,
No, thank God.
the amnesia should be interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
I must do.
Phoenix gonna have to remember me, or have to remind me who the hell I won't remember who I am, but he's gonna have to be like...
Yeah, you'll remember... Yeah, you'll remember your name and your abilities and all the stuff like of who you are. You just won't remember anything event-wise. Like you won't remember where you were before coming to Barovia. You won't remember coming to Barovia. You won't remember your hunting days with Yevgeny and Zoldar. You won't remember joining the party. You will get all these memories back when the madness wears off.
Yeah.
And Koenig's need to do this particular thing that I'll let you decide, obsessive compulsively and repeatedly. you just can't stop sharpening your sword or whatever it is you choose to do. Like even in the middle of combat, it's like, I want to sharpen my sword, but I gotta fight. But now there's a nick in it. I gotta sharpen this. Fight! There's another nick. You know. Or whatever it is that you choose to do, but it's got to be something. It's got to be something that is potentially disruptive. Wreck with the worms, basically.
Shot TV. You better cleaning this place up.
All right. Well, you know what? Good times tonight, guys.
All right.
In all honesty, I was planning to have her pull the shark out first and then pull the croc out later. But you guys took advantage of your terrain too quickly. The only way she could start getting to you guys was to go croc mode and come at you over land. And good on your save trying to get off the croc, and good on your attack of opportunity hitting her to turn her back into a mermaid instead of a croc trying to go over the side, because otherwise she would have just dove over the side and taken the little halfling for a lunch date.
Yeah. Not this halfling.
That was a battle of wits against that thing.
That was definitely a battle of wits, but I definitely had fun with it. I'm still disappointed with myself that I didn't get the map completed in time. Where did I put that at?
I was disappointed there wasn't those little cannons that you could break off and just have a bunch.
Yeah, I was like, why is there no cannons?
All right, so I misremembered a few details of it, but that's basically it right there. So that big hulking thing, that's the ship that I put you guys on. And as I fill in the details, you'll be able to see where the different rocks were at. This is the boat she was on. Somehow I thought that it was more like this was over here, the boat was here, and then there was the other wrecks up here. I haven't drawn in the details of the three-piece wreck up here, but that's where that was.
Okay.
But
that's
just
pretty cool looking, dude.
Yeah, and I even went to the detail.
I've drawn a shark. Man, I was hoping for a shark tooth key neck. I wanted to make it for like a knife, you know?
You
could have kicked it in the teeth.
I would say with all the fighting that you guys did accomplish and taking the time to count up the coins and stuff before being shifted back to real time, you would have been able to pick up a handful of them. So having everything that came back with you, I would say you were able to keep 3. So you've got 3 shark's teeth.
Nice.
So. Rourke's gonna be like, where the hell did you get shark teeth? I mean, dude, I don't even know.
Especially the case for the wolf. I literally don't know. I was like, where did I get these shark teeth from?
What are these things again? Oh, those are shark teeth?
No, like you'll remember what stuff is, like you'll remember what your weapons are, how they work, things like that. You'll remember what things are. Yeah. You just won't necessarily remember who things are or how you came to be here and events that took place. So.
That'd be interesting if I got that information.
Oh, that would have been hilarious.
But I still know who Torm is.
Yeah. So, like, let me read off to you guys. Well, actually, no. We'll stop the recording. For those watching View on Demand on YouTube and eventually, hopefully, on Twitch, thank you for watching, and we will see you all next week. Quite possibly having to do another strictly video on demand instead of live stream. I'm going to keep trying to figure out how to get my bandwidth situation fixed. But other than that, yeah, we will see you guys around the block.